Our next topic of conversation, speaking of fun, it's credit repair basics. It's easier than you think.
Yeah.
So my assumption here is that in the current marketplace, one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of people that need credit repair because we got foreclosed on, we got bankruptcies, we got a lot of things going on, we got some money issues, an economic problem, blah, blah, blah. So credit repair is now kind of moved up the list of things that are in people's minds or right in front of them. So we want to make sure that we stay topical. And so today we're going to talk about credit repair basics. And the theme is it's easier than you think. So, Scotty, start us off here.
Yeah, this could actually probably go on. Why are you turning around looking at me like this?
Well, because I'm seeing if you know anything. Because I do this like
daily. If I know anything?
No, anything good like that. I don't know right now.
These are simple basics. Yeah, the same with Elisa. We do this all the time, and there are some things that are so simple. One of the first things that I identified, and I learned this from personal experience, is that sometimes the biggest reason why people don't have why people have bad credit is because they don't know how to build good credit. Yeah. It's just a lack of not understanding how the credit scoring system works. And
is there an algorithm to that or something?
There are algorithms, and there's different weights given to different things. They're not supposed to disclose it because you're not supposed to be able to game it, but there's absolutely some things that you can do. The first thing, and I learned this personally, is that if you have problems with your credit, don't just stop using credit.
Yes.
I did this personally. I had challenges. I had challenges with a business in the early 90s, and I had some late payments and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I don't want bad credit, so I'm just not going to use credit. For 7 years, I didn't use credit. No credit cards.
You disappeared off the face of the earth.
Evidently. So then when I finally looked at my credit score, it was such a pile of crap. I couldn't believe it. It was so bad. And it was because I didn't do anything to it.
You didn't go to freecreditscore.com because we've learned.
I certainly did not. So here's some of the things that I learned. The first thing that I learned is you should have at least 3 revolving credit lines. Okay. Credit cards.
And like store cards? Like
store cards, whatever. I got my first one. It was a secured credit card. So I sent them $200, and they sent me a credit card with a $200 limit on it. Okay, so that was a
really
secure
credit
card. Well, it is because it reports as a credit card. The credit agencies don't know it's
they do know, but the good thing about it is that if you are trying to start out with credit, these are really good starters.
Right.
So you can start building.
You make
and then
2 or 3 payments, and you'll start getting applications for lower interest credit cards. Don't start with, if you know your credit's bad, don't start with Sears, don't start with American Express or Discover. These are all really, really difficult to get. So start with
Sears is difficult to get.
Really difficult to get.
Shut up.
Yeah, they're pretty strict. So
boy, there are things you just learn on this show.
So and unfortunately, you do have to go to like these Capital Ones, and a Viking's going to show up and break your kneecaps if you don't make a payment. Whatever.
What's in your
No, it's all about Jimmy Fallon now.
So here's what here's what I tell people. I tell people, listen, you want to get 3 credit cards, take 2 of them, wrap them in 3 inches of duct tape, and put them in a cupboard somewhere so that you never, ever use them. Okay? Use 1 credit card just for your monthly expenses, and then treat it like an American Express, which means that you pay the entire balance off. Don't use it for credit. Use it for convenience. Now, there's a caveat to that. When you get credit cards, charge them up once and then pay them off. Then take those 2, because that's the only way you establish. Now, what you're doing here is you're looking at utilization of available debt. So the biggest factor on your credit scores is how much money you can spend on your credit cards and how much compared to how much you actually did. So I've heard a lot of different balances. Keep your balances less than 50% of what your high credit limit is. I say 25%.
I say 30, and if you want to be really aggressive, like right before the time you're about to get pre-approved and we're going to run your credit, then go down to 10%.
But yeah, I've never heard that there's an incremental improvement. I think that once you hit that percentage, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen better improvement. This is after years and years of trial and error.
And
30 does definitely help, though.
Okay. And what I've absolutely seen is somebody go from a credit card that's maxed out to paid off, improve their credit scores by 60 points.
Dramatically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the first thing I'm looking for.
Little fat guy with the hockey mask.
What?
514.
I have no. Is that a Jason reference?
He's God, no. The scam commercial for free credit report. They do triple credit score, and you have two good scores and one little fat guy with a hockey mask.
You watch.
If I have to make multiple leaps to catch a joke, I'm out.
Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
Our listeners.
Hey, Scott, real quick. What about those people that think that the best direction is consolidating things? I've heard in past that by consolidating, a lot of those companies sell you, sell you out, and basically you end up going on your record almost as if you BK'd, you know.
Well, there's credit counseling services that do look like a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, like a structured resettlement. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're saying is you get those credit card offers for 0% for six months if you consolidate all of your credit cards onto one.
Actually, I'm talking about the first, where you go to these companies and they basically negotiate your amounts down, but at the same time you're literally submitting is what it looks like.
Don't do that, because the reality is they have to make money by doing that service. So a lot of times what I've seen, first of all, a huge percentage of those are scams. And there's a lot of information on the credit report websites, and we're going to list the websites on the blog post on the website so that people can go to these things. And Elisa talked about getting, their free, credit report and things like that. But one of the things, if you transfer balances, and I've run into this quite often, what you're essentially doing is you're taking a brand new credit card and maxing it out.
Yeah.
So now your utilization of revolving debt is like 98%. You've used 98% of what you can use, and that's going to drop your credit scores like significantly. Yeah. So again, 3 credit cards, charge them up, pay them off, take 2 of them. I've actually had consumers tell me that they freeze it into a bowl of water. Wow. And they put it in the freezer. Wow. So that way, in order for you to get to it, you have to take it out and you have to let it thaw.
You have to cool down. It gives you time to cool down.
Think about it in order to do it. And that's brilliant. Keep one credit card. Only use it for convenience. Use it for gas, groceries, get those airline miles. Pay it off at the end of every month when the bill comes. And that's going to keep your credit. That's going to keep your credit scores up.
Now, Scott, here's one thing. And I actually had a conversation with somebody last week. He was kind of a similar situation where he wasn't using certain credit cards. And I go, well, which one is your oldest credit card? That's the one you should be using, because now he has a history established. So maybe we want to say, if you're not establishing new credit and you're just trying to kind of bump up some scores, use your oldest credit card as maybe your daily, because that's going to give you history, which is also one of the other items that they look at.
No, actually, I'm going to run this one by you, because it's been a while since I've had to address this, but I know the rules have changed as far as authorized users. Awesome, in the past, people would give advice to say, let me just go as an authorized user on my mom's account, but that doesn't work for mortgages anymore, does it? They have to It gets taken out of the equation.
It does get taken out of the equation, but if you are on a long-term plan, say you really need to start building it up, that may be something to get you started, to get you rolling, but it's not going to help you per se. But it's going to help you in the fact that maybe you can now qualify for other credit cards to start building history that mortgage companies will look at. So that's it. It's kind of a little kickstart, a little catalyst, but nothing that will really get you rolling.
So I don't know how much more time we have on this. I don't know how much more we have in this segment. Okay, well then this is going to be an ongoing series. So next week we'll talk about how you can get incorrect information removed from your credit report.
Ooh, a teaser. I love teasers. Okay.